This video is about view layer of Magento 2 model. This video is the last one in section 1, and we are going to integrate everything we have done in this section during this video. We will focus on blocks, templates and layouts. So let's start with blocks. The common location for blocks in Magento 2 is block folder inside your model. Let's create a block called hello.php. Usually we have to specify a namespace that is mastering, sample model, block, and the class name, that is hello. Blocks that have templates, and our block will have a template, should extend Magento framework view element template class. I would like to render our items collection created earlier in this block. That's why I would like to use the collection that we created. And the correct way to use collections in Magento 2 is to add, using dependency injection, a collection factory to your class. We'll talk about dependency injection in Magento 2 in later videos in more details. Right now I'll just show you how it works. Let's define a construct function. As our class has parent, we have to call parent construct as well, and we have to pass arguments of construct function to parent class. However, we will add additional dependency to construct method of our function. And first, let's specify a class of our items collection. It was mastering, sample model, model, resource model, collection. Sorry, resource model, item collection. Magento 2 will generate a factory for any class if you will add factory suffix for any class, and we are adding this factory suffix for our collection class name. This factory we are going to put using di to our constructor. Let's call the variable collection factory, create a field in our class, and assign collection factory to the property. We will need collection factory to avoid reusing of collection class that can be used before our block. Now let's create a method that will return items for our template. Public function get items. Here we are going to return the result of collection factory create. Collection factory create will create a new instance of collection for us, and we would like to get items from this collection. Get items is generic method that will return all loaded items of Magento 2 collection. it will return instances of models. So let's add a PHP doc for getItems method for PHP Storm to help us with highlights in template. So our model class is mastering sample module model item. And it will be an array of items. So that's it, our block is ready. Now let's create a template for this block. Template is part of view of design components of Magento 2 model, and such components are located in view folder. This folder is lowercase, same as etc. And inside a view folder we have to create a folder for concrete area we are going to use our templates. And in this case we'll create frontend folder, because we are going to render our template on frontend. Now we have to create a folder for templates, and it's called templates. Finally, in this folder we can create our template. Let's call it hello. And actually template files in Magento 2 usually have PHTML extension. So in template file, the first thing we're going to use is to specify the reference to our block for easier editing of this file. So blocks in templates are available under block variable. So block variable in this part of code will be an instance of our hello block. Let's define its class. It's mastering sample module block hello. Now we can use a functionality of this block. So what I would like to do in this template is just to render the list of all our items from database. For this purpose, let's just for each through all items provided by block. Block get items, that's a function that we created, as item let's render it inside just p tags, and here I want to output item name and item description. So first PHP here item get name, this method is not highlighted, however it is a magic method that will return a value, and column space, and let's output the description. Item get description. Now let's close our for each loop with and for each. That's it. This template is going to for each through all items provided by block, and will render in separate paragraph each item name and each item description. Finally, we have to create a layout to combine block and template and to paste it in correct place on a page. So for layout, we'll create a folder inside a frontend directory, and it should be called layout. Here we have to create an XML file that has name according to the action path. So in our case, this file should have name mastering index.xml. This name is based on routing front name, as we specified it in our routes.xml mastering. The second part comes from controller name, that is index, and the third part comes from action name, that is also index. In this XML file, let me paste the sample content. We are going to create a page node with XSI and XSD declarations that you can copy from any other layout. And one thing you have to pay attention at is layout type. Here it's one column. However, you can use also 2 columns and 3 columns layout, depending on how would you like your page to be rendered. So inside page node we have to create a body node and reference some container where you want your block to be rendered. In our case, we are rendering our block and template just inside the content container, so just in the middle of a page. And let's add our block to this container. Let's create block node with name. Name can be anything you like, however it should be unique, so we'll call it mastering hello. The class of our block, that is mastering sample module, block hello. The template, that is just hello.phtml, and that's it. Closing our declaration. Template path is based on templates folder within the model where layout is declared. That's why we specify just the name of a template. So that's finally it. Let's check our implementation on frontend. But first, we have to clean cache because we added a layout. Bin Magento cache flush. Now let's go to browser and add a mastering path. However, one thing that we should also do is to change our controller. As you can see, the first implementation of our controller was rendered just raw response. It means that it will ignore all layouts and all other settings in Magento. And we would like our controller to render the layout. So for this purpose we will change contents of execute method and we'll return result factory create result factory type page in this case. So this should render a layout to frontend. Let's check it. After cache flush, all cache in Magento is regenerating, and as you can see, our items are rendered to the content of one column Magento 2 page. Item name is here, then column space and item description. If you remember, item 2 doesn't have a description, so empty string is rendered here. So, in section 1 of Mastering Magento 2 course, we created a model, installed and upgraded database, created model view and controller layer, and tested integration of all model components we worked on. That's a great job! And in the next section, I'm going to talk about additional advanced model components. See you soon. Bye.